Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, and a warm welcome to all watching. We are here for this DATS Premier League encounter between the GE Roaring Tigers and the Jbcn Stars. The opening batsmen for the Roaring Tigers are in readiness. The fielding side is all set. The umpires taking stock of the situation as we are all inching closer to the first ball of what promises to be a very exciting encounter. Mayur and Amar, the openers for the Roaring Tigers, and Akshesh is the bowler who will kickstart proceedings for the Stars. Here we go. We are all set. This is the first ball, and that is in the air, loopy, in the gap. And the Roaring Tigers will open their account with a single. Good use of the slow ball, first up by Akshesh. And Mayur just getting a bit tangled. And that shot just going absolutely nowhere. Eventually, and fortunately for him, it lands safely between the fielders at mid-on and mid-off. Interesting field placement here for the Stars. There is a slip in place. Very, very interesting indeed. Akshesh to continue. Oh, that is given as a wide, I reckon. Yes, it has been given as a wide by the umpire. That was trailing a little, and it had gone and drifted a little bit wider outside the tram line that is there. So Amar still waiting to face his first ball. It is the Roaring Tigers who won the toss and elected to bat first. Here is Akshesh with Amar facing. Much better delivery and played very confidently, opening the face of the bat. No run though, but Amar will be pretty confident and pretty confident with the way that he timed that ball. He played it late, opened the face of the bat at just the right time and guides it nicely. Even though it is straight to the fielder at short third, he won't mind that because he's got bat on ball. And that is exactly what batters need in the early exchanges. Just get a feel off the ball on bat, helping things immensely. Here is Akshesh. Oh, that's a lovely delivery. That is a huge appeal and that is given. The Jbcn Stars strike. First blood. Beautiful delivery this from Akshesh first up. Amar had absolutely no option but to play that. And in the process, gets a faint nick and the keeper makes absolutely no mistake and gobbles that chance up. Good cricket this from the Stars. Let's have a look at the replay once again. Lovely delivery. Very, very close. Had to play that. Gets a feather and that's a comfortable catch for the keeper. He knew it straight away that nestled into the gloves that he was a goner. So that's the first wicket down and that is the perfect start for the Stars. Just what the doctor ordered for them. The Roaring Tigers are 2 for 1. That was a lovely delivery there by Akshesh. Just leaving the batsman at just the last moment, making the batsman to fend for that, trying to get a prod, and it was lazily played, and eventually just all he manages to do is get a nick. And a nick is all that is required for the keeper who makes no mistake at the back. So meanwhile, it is Snehal who is the new batsman who's walked into the middle. The Roaring Tigers with an early setback here in the first over of the game itself, within the first 3 balls as well. So it's a big, big loss, losing one of your opening batsmen within the first half of the first over of the game. They will have to do a bit of a rebuilding job here, while also making sure that they maintain a healthy scoring rate. Because at the end of the day, it is the runs on the board that matter when you're batting first, especially after you've won the toss. Meanwhile, Akshesh will be coming in full of confidence, And here he is. Again, and this time he picks the gap. However, there is protection there in the deep on the offside. So it'll only be a single. So once again, Akshesh bowling that off-stump line, the off-stump channel. His plan is to make use of that late swing that he's getting and try to make the batsman reach out for the ball. To get, it is the propensity of the batsman to, just have a feel of the ball, and that reaching out could probably mean that. And that is another edge, is it? And yes, that is 2 wickets in the over. Just what I was talking about, the batsman trying to reach out to the ball just to get that early feel of bat on ball. And once again, a wide-ish delivery finds the outside edge, and both the openers now are back in the hut. This is an excellent start for the Stars. There it is, once again, a wide-ish length, looking to play at it, pokes it, gets a feather, and once again, that is a good catch by the keeper behind. This is an excellent, excellent start by the Stars. They couldn't have asked for anything more. 2 wickets in the first over itself. And the Roaring Tigers are now in trouble. 3 for 2 and still one more ball left. Akshesh has bowled an incredibly brilliant first over. He's playing on the vulnerabilities of the batsman early on. Playing at the batsman's recklessness, we could say, the batsman's instinct probably to just fend and to just go out and reach that ball which is wide outside the hitting arc, and that is exactly how he's managed to get both his wickets early on. The perfect platform for the bowling side, not so much for the batting side. Both these batsmen now know that they have a hell of a job in front of them if they have to rebuild this innings. But the one thing that is in their favor is that there is still a long, long way to go. It is still only the first over. There are 19 more overs to go. So there is every chance of making a comeback. Meanwhile, here is Akshay steaming in. Santosh, the new batsman. Oh, another edge. So another leaning edge here. And once again, this is another single. And that brings an end to what has been a brilliant first over for Akshesh and the Stars. The Roaring Tigers are 4 for 2. For the loss of 2 wickets in the first over itself, the Roaring Tigers. And meanwhile, Ronish is the opening bowling partner for Akshesh from the other end. Santosh and Snehal will now have to formulate a bit of a game plan as to how they will approach the innings. We're into the power play, so there are field restrictions in place where there are only 2 fielders that will be allowed outside 30-yard circle. So I think the game plan for both the batsmen will probably be a equal mix of aggressive shots as well as careful batting, because at the end of the day, you do not want to lose any more wickets, especially this early into the contest. It just lays down a wrong marker. Here is Ronish to kickstart things. Lets that go. Watches it very, very carefully, does Santosh. And there is a hint of low bounce on that particular delivery. As you can see, the first over from Akshesh, each of those deliveries have had good carry, and the keeper caught it at rather comfortable heights as well. But this one kept a little low. So once again, a rather interesting challenge for the batters to face, apart from the scoreboard pressure that is. Here is Ronish. Once again, that's another appeal. That's a huge appeal. Huge appeal here, and it's given. And that is given. It was a huge appeal. Each and every one of the bowling side were excited and they were absolutely sure. Let's have a look at that once again. Here it is. He bowls. And yes, that there was a slight feather. It was a huge appeal, and the umpire eventually raises his finger, and that is the third wicket to fall. So the Roaring Tigers all of a sudden find themselves in dire straits, and this is a very, very bad situation for them. They're 4 down for the loss of 3 wickets already. So this is as good a start as the Jbcn Stars can get. 3 wickets within the first 7 deliveries. Not much they could have asked for in terms of a start and in terms of bowling performance. And this is Ronish already getting his first wicket within the second delivery of his over. So a perfect start for him on a personal level as well. And you can see a spring in the steps of the Stars fielders. They are cock-a-hoop and they are bouncing about with a spring in their step. So now the task at hand for the Roaring Tigers gets even more difficult. 3 wickets in the hut already. Your top order decimated. And now it is all on a rebuild job. What do the Roaring Tigers batsmen go? Where do the Roaring Tigers batsmen go from here? What is their intent? What is the game plan? Here is Ronish coming in. And the new batsman is Jfsc, who lets that one watchfully go by. Does not go to play at it at all. I think, and probably that is the right thing to do. You know, just get your eye in, just get used to the conditions in and around you. Just, you know, get a few balls onto the bat and then probably go about a rebuild job. Get those runs. Those runs are there on offer if you do spend a little time out there in the middle. So the runs are there on offer. All the batsmen need to do is just take their time out there. Here is Ronish. Again, gets bat on ball. No run, but he won't mind that. An excellent over so far from Ronish as well. As I speak, no runs given and already a wicket taken. So this is the perfect opening bowling partnership in terms of wickets and runs as well. Not given away any boundaries and have taken 3 wickets. So the perfect bowling partnership as well from both sides by the Jbcn Stars with Akshesh and Ronish now. Here is Jfsc. And that's edge, and oh, what a catch that is! That is an absolute blinder of a catch from the fielder at slip. What a brilliant take that is. Take a bow, sir. Take a bow. That is as good a catch you can see. And this innings for the Roaring Tigers just goes from bad to worse. It is the 4th wicket to fall. What a catch that is. This is a wicket that is solely credited to the fielding effort here. Let's have a look at this ball. Once again, forcing the batsman to play. Plays at it, gets a genuine nick, and look at that. Outstretched arm, sticks to his hand like glue. And what a catch that is. An absolute blinder. Take a bow once again. The Jbcn Stars are on 7th heaven at the moment. And the Roaring Tigers just don't know what has hit them. Blink of an eye and they are 4 wickets down for just 4 runs on the board. Absolute scenes here at the Fatima grounds. Goodness gracious me, what have we just witnessed? That catch will be talked about for a good while. The reflex, the reaction time, he had to be on his toes, and that is the perils of being a slip fielder. You cannot have the ball coming to you for 19.5 out of the 20 overs, but that one delivery, you have to be on point. Your reflexes, your agility, everything. Oh, that's a brilliant delivery again. So that's a double wicket maiden over for Ronish. And at the end of 2 overs, the Roaring Tigers are 2 for 2. A peach of a Yorker here. and the batsman doing just enough to just get a little bat on it, or else that was wicket number 5. But this is brilliant bowling here from Ronish. 2 overs down, the Roaring Tigers in deep trouble at 4 for 4. Here comes Jfsc. Plays that confidently, the front foot defense. No run out there. Not even in their wildest dreams would the Roaring Tigers have envisaged themselves to be in a position like this. An absolute situation of dire straits out there. Snehal finally getting strike, and he has watched the carnage unfold from the other side. Again, that's another good ball, playing at the weakness or playing at that impulse of the batsman to reach out for that ball that is wide outside the off stump. We all know some of the biggest batsmen in the business have that impulse and have that vulnerability of reaching out to that ball outside the off stump. None more so than Virat Kohli, who has been time and again fallen victim to that ball which is outside the off stump just because he wanted to have a poke at it. And the Roaring Tigers have unfortunately fallen victim to the same mode of dismissal for 3 out of the 4 wickets. And that's in the air. That is in the air and falls safe. A huge slice of luck for Snehal here, and that is another leading edge that has gone absolutely nowhere. An excellent bowling display here so far. We are 15 balls into this contest, and there has been no boundaries given. Singles, only singles, and 4 wickets already. Here is Jfsc. And finally, a shot in anger, but that will not reach the boundary as well. Will eventually settle only for a single. And that brings the new man Mayur on strike. Here is Mayur facing Jfsc. It's a good looking shot. He's beaten the fielders. Will that go to the boundary? Yes, it does. So that is the first boundary of the batting innings for the Roaring Tigers. And how they would have loved the sight of that ball going to the boundary rope. That will definitely do wonders to their confidence. Good looking shot there from Mayur, and that's a lovely way to get off the mark as well. Nicely timed, beats that fielder there at shot cover and had enough timing and enough precision to go to the boundary rope. Here is Jfsc. Plays it well. That's a dot ball. So the end of the 3rd over now. We're 3 overs done. The Roaring Tigers are 9 for 4. Ronish to continue to bowl his 2nd over. He started off proceedings with a double wicket maiden in his 1st over. And he could have not asked for a better start in terms of the runs conceded as well as the wickets taken. And he will be looking to add on to his tally of wickets as well. And as he comes in there, Snehal on strike again. That's another appeal. Huge appeal, but this time not out, says the umpire. So again, The game plan for both the bowlers is pretty well set. They're trying to target that area, that impulse of a batsman to, just reach out for that ball which is wide outside the off stump. And so far, it's working a treat. Fortunately for Snehal this time, he does not manage to get an edge on this particular delivery. So he'll be counting himself as very fortunate. Here comes Ronish once again. And Ronish losing his run-up at the last moment. So he will have to go through his bowling routine all over again. Here he comes. Once again trying to get a feel of the delivery, but Snehal once again beaten by the trajectory of it all. So once again, good bowling this from Ronish. He's picked his spot beautifully and he's bowled those lengths to perfection. So has Akshesh from the other end as well. Here is Ronish. So good ball, fullish. And that's a bit of a misfield there. They will eventually get 2. Yes, they do get 2 runs. So slowly and steadily, now that scoreboard ticking a bit for the Roaring Tigers. They're now into double digits, which is 1 milestone overcome. Here is Ronish bowling to Snehal. Nice, solid forward defense there from the batsman. Here is Ronish. Oh, that's a hopeful appeal for LBW, but as mentioned rather rightly by the wicketkeeper, it is straying down the leg side. So Ronish has bowled an excellent over again to complement his over in the previous one. And here is Ronish to Snehal. That's a full toss and that has been taken full toll off, and that is another boundary. So the runs coming in a little bit now. So the Roaring Tigers are now growing that little bit in confidence. Here it is, just under waist height, picks it nicely. Ample of time, no protection out there in the deep on account of the field restrictions, and that careens over to the boundary at square leg for 4. So at the end of 4 overs, the Roaring Tigers are now 15 for 4. And as we speak, there is a bowling change. It is Mehul who has been brought into the bowling attack by the Jbcn Stars. Just to let you know that it is the Roaring Tigers who won the toss and chose to bat first. They lost 4 wickets in a heap, but now there is a semblance of a partnership that they are building. A couple of boundaries coming in, and surely they must feel now that they are on their way to build a decent, or at least a competitive target to bowl at. So now the responsibility of keeping the pressure on the Roaring Tigers batsmen will fall on Mehul as well, because Both the opening bowlers for the JBCN Stars have done a phenomenal job of keeping that scoring rate down. Yes, they've given one boundary each, but on a whole, it has been a great bowling performance. Here it is. Pokes it for a single probably. To take a look at that. Yes, they do take a single there. And that brings Snehal on strike. Snehal currently batting on 8 of 11. Mayur on 5 of 4. Last two, we are into the final 11 balls of the power play. Can the Roaring Tigers make the most of these? Oh, it's a hopeful appeal for LBW there. But nothing doing, says the umpire. So dot ball. It's probably there in the hitting arc, but he was not able to get any bat on it. Snehal. Here is Mehul. That's been launched wide. Is there protection out there in the deep? Yes, there is. So they will settle for only a single once again. So 2 singles taken in the first 3 deliveries. Will there be a release shot here? Will there be a big shot played by Mayur? Have to wait and see as Mehul comes in to bowl his 4th ball. Oh, slow. A little wide and a too wide, says the umpire. We'll have to bowl that one again. Here's Mehul. To Mayur. That's a good looking ball shot. But there was a fielder there at long off. So all he will get is a single. Mehul on the whole will find himself pretty fortunate that there was protection out there in the deep, because that ball was in the slot, was asking to be hit, and was hit rather well, was well timed as well. But could only get a single because of the field placement that is there. The slip still remains. So very interesting here. Mehul played that one nicely. So, that's a run out. That's an absolute comedy of errors out there from the batting side. Absolutely no single on offer. Was hit straight to the fielder, was hit well as well. The non-striker just absolutely went and was stranded there. A poor gather meant that there was a chance, but he was too far off to make it in time. And the bowler manages to uproot the stumps in the second attempt. And the Roaring Tigers have now lost half their side within the power play. They are languishing at 19 for 5. This is a nightmare scenario unfolding for the Roaring Tigers here. The last thing that the Roaring Tigers needed was a run out. The last thing that they would have thought of is not to give away a wicket because of a run out, and that is exactly what has transpired. It is just not happening for the Roaring Tigers, unfortunately. Here is Mehul, who will continue to bowl and will end his first over and the side's 5th. Good over this, only 4 runs conceded and a wicket off that run out. Here is Mehul. That's a good shot. But there is protection in the deep, so it'll only be a single. So that is the end of the 5th over. And the Roaring Tigers languishing at 20 with half their side back in the pavilion. Meanwhile, it is Ronish who will continue with his third over. 3 back-to-back overs given to Ronish, and he will be entrusted with the responsibility of closing what has been a highly successful first 6 overs for his Jbcn Stars side. Can he finish? Can he close the power play in the same fashion that he's bowled so far? This is the chance for the Roaring Tigers batsman to probably get a few quick runs, maybe. Here is Snehal on strike. That's a beautiful shot. Nice pickup shot. 1 bounce, 2 bounce into the rope, and that's a good start to this over. 4 runs off the first ball. Just a little bit on the fuller side from Ronish, and Snehal was up to the task. Picks it up nice and early and connects it right of the middle of the blade. Takes the aerial route, knows that there is no protection there in the deep, and gets 4 runs for it. They will need more of those, will the Roaring Tigers, and it will be the responsibility of Snehal to deliver them. Here he comes, Ronish to Snehal. Oh, beats him for pace, but beats the keeper as well, and that's another boundary. The Roaring Tigers won't mind this. They will take any run possible at this stage, no matter how they come. So that's a good start here. 8 runs off it. Goes right through the keeper, and he's disappointed. He knows he should have done better. So that's 8 runs of this over. Snehal to face Ronish. Ronish under a little bit of pressure here after giving 2 boundaries away. Plays that nicely once again. And that is running away, and that is gone for 4. So that is 3 boundaries in a row. 2 boundaries off the bat for Snehal. This time straying down the legs a bit, and all Snehal had to do was get bat on ball, because there's absolutely no protection out there, and Snehal does the needful, gets enough bat for that ball to race to the boundary. So this is just the over that the Roaring Tigers were looking for to build a little bit of momentum, at least as they go into the middle phase of this innings. They've got 12 runs of it, and there are still 3 more balls to play. Here is Ronish to Snehal. Plays that well, but has he played that in the gap enough? No, but they will eventually settle for a single. So 13 runs coming, and that is Kedar, who will be the batsman to take strike for the first time in this contest. So the Roaring Tigers getting a bit of impetus in what is the final over of this power play. They've got 3 boundaries, and now they've got a single. So 13 runs. Still 2 more balls to go. Still chance to get more runs and add them to the total, so that there is a good little platform that is built for them at this particular juncture of the contest. Here is Ronish bowling to Kedar. Nicely tucks it down to that leg side, and that is a single. Gets off the mark there, does Kedar. So here we are in the final ball of the power play. 34 runs, but 5 wickets lost for the Roaring Tigers. Here it is. Snehal to face the final ball of the power play. Ronish, the bowler, on to bowl. Here he comes. Plays it nicely. Settles for a single. So 15 runs coming off. Is it a single there? That is a dot ball. So that's the end of the field restrictions, the end of the power play. The Roaring Tigers are 34 for 5. And as we speak, there is another bowling change that has been done by the Stars. It is Nirmit who will come into the bowling attack. And it has been a very, very disciplined and very, very high quality bowling performance this by the Jbcn Stars. not given away, bar that final over probably, they've not given away much. And that is just what they needed. 5 wickets in the boot as well. So they are still the ones who are in the ascendancy as far as this contest goes. 6 overs in. But still, like I said earlier, still 14 overs to go. That is a long, long way into this contest. And the Roaring Tigers can still make a comeback despite finding themselves in this situation. Expect the unexpected in a game of cricket, which is often called the game of glorious uncertainties, and for good reason. Here is Nirmit bowling to Kedar. Oh, lucky boy Kedar gets a little bit of a feather, and that goes off the pad safely away from the stumps. On another day, Kedar would have seen that ball cannon onto his stumps, but today is not that day. And he will take that with both hands. Here comes Nirmit. Kedar picks that one nicely as well. Hits it in the right gap. They should come back for 2. And they do come back rather comfortably at the end of it. So here is Nirmit. Oh, he's edged that one. Beats that fielder at short third, but they will eventually get a single. So that's 37 for 5 now, the Roaring Tigers. And the scoreboard is now surely, slowly but steadily ticking. Moving north, as we say. Here is Snehal this time facing Nirmit. Oh, that was agonizingly close to the outside edge. Good bowling this from Nirmit. Bowled it nice on that good length channel. Just about manages to evade that outside edge. So all in all, this has once again been a pretty impressive start from Nirmit. Here is Snehal. Opens the face of the bat at the last moment. Will settle for a single comfortably. So Nirmit currently 4 runs off his first 5 balls. Snehal currently batting on 20 of 22, and Kedar is at a run of ball 4. So Snehal has been pacing his innings rather nicely. He's got the boundaries, and now he's well set on 20. Here is Kedar. So into the fielder, tries to use his feet, and that eventually results in the batsman scampering across for a single. So that is the end of 7 overs, and the Roaring Tigers are 39 for 5. And another new bowling change sees Meghal come into the attack for the Jbcn Stars. This has been a very, very impressive performance with the ball for the Stars. And they will look to continue to keep that advantage and press that advantage home. Here is Meghal, who will bowl his first ball of the game to Kedar. Starts off with that nice ball darting in full length, no run. Meghal taking his time and setting the field of his choice. And here he is to continue. Bowling to Kedar. Flights. Gets a genuine edge, but there is no slip this time around. A little bit of misfield, but they will only get a single. Meghal to continue, bowling to Snehal. Plays that straight back to the bowler. Oh, that's a good looking shot. He's hit that into that pocket at the deep. Will settle only for a single though. But the scoreboard moving in the right direction for the Roaring Tigers. After that nightmarish start where they lost half their side for almost nothing, they're now at a much better position than they found themselves in that first 3-4 over spell, the first exchanges of this contest. And that is something now they'll probably look to capitalize on. Meghal to continue. Kedar rocks back and plays that in that gap to that fielder at deep extra cover for a single. So once again, another bowler with a good start. And as after that edge, you can see that slip has been brought back. And it is Snehal, the batsman, who is on strike. Once again, played that nicely. But there is protection out there in the deep. Once again, will only be a single. So the score, despite it being a slow pace, it is moving. And movement at the end of the day is paramount for the Roaring Tigers as far as the scoreboard is concerned. And that is the end of the 8th over. The Roaring Tigers are 43 for 5. And it is Nirmit who will come back to bowl his second over. Went for 5 in his first. So what would be an ideal target here to set for the Roaring Tigers given the situation that they find themselves in? 130, 140 perhaps. If they get a good couple of overs in, probably the chance of 150. Played that nicely. Beats the fielder for a single. And this brings Kedar on strike to face Nirmit. Here is Nirmit. Oh, Kedar was trying to play the unorthodox shot. Eventually, all that for no run. Nirmit to Kedar. Oh, tries to cut that with ferocious power. Once again, hitting nothing but fresh air there. So another tight over being sneaked in here by the Stars. At the end of the day, they won't mind this. They won't mind the singles and the doubles. Here's Kedar. Oh, gets a bottom edge. So that's 3 dot balls in a row now played by Kedar. The pressure slowly getting to him. He's probably looking for that big release shot just to get the shackles off of him a little bit. Play with a little more freedom. Play with a little less restriction and inhibition here. But will he be able to find that is the $1 million question. There, once again, was trying for that expansive drive. Will finally settle for a single. Will get a single after 4 deliveries. But still, that is once again another pretty good over. Just 2 runs off it. 5 deliveries bowled. 1 more ball to go in the 9th over. So Snail takes the aerial route and finds the boundary. So just when it felt like it was a good tight over, Snehal finds a boundary and makes it a decent over. Picks that one nicely. Spots the gap on that empty vacant leg side boundary in the deep. And gets 4 runs for it. So that at the end of 9 overs, the Roaring Tigers are 49 for 5. And another bowling change this time sees Gaurav, who has been introduced into the attack. Kedar will be facing him. Nice and wide, but fielded well. So no run there. So here's Gaurav to continue. And it is Kedar who will continue to take strike. This time plays it much better than the first ball. And will get a single and rotate strike. And with that single, it's the 50 of the team total that comes up for the Roaring Tigers. 50 for 5 in the 10th over. They will look to go and score more runs and as many as possible so that it gives them a good chance to defend the total there. So here is Snehal bowling to Gaurav. Gaurav bowling to Snehal. Snehal takes the aerial route. And this time there is protection out there in the fielder at deep mid-wicket who covers it up. And Snehal gets a single for this shot that he played. So Snehal has decided that at least once an over he will be looking to take the aerial route on the leg side. So will that approach bear dividends to him as the overs go by? Will be very interesting to see. Meanwhile, Gaurav bowling to Kedar. That's been given as a wide. Here's Gaurav to continue. Goes for the slog sweep, finds the gap, and that's a boundary. That's a good shot from Kedar, who's finally freed himself from the shackles a little bit. His innings was going nowhere, and there, picks that sweep to perfection, times it well, one-handed, and that finds the boundary with ease. So now Kedar has got a scoring shot off. That'll probably help in freeing off his shackles a little bit and play a little more freely. So Gaurav to continue. We're 4 balls into the 10th over. The Roaring Tigers are 56 for 5. Picks that one nicely as well. And that is rapidly beaten that fielder with ease for back-to-back boundaries. So now the score and the acceleration picking up for the Roaring Tigers. Rocks back, smashes it. And the sheer power and pace of the boundary. The fielder there had absolutely no chance. It's a great shot from Kedar, who's now quickly moved on to 17 with those back-to-back boundaries. Good batting here from Kedar, picking his spots nicely, and finally a big over once again. 11 runs coming off it. One more ball to go. Here is Kedar. Oh, that is a huge appeal. Not out, says the umpire. So that is 10 overs done. The Roaring Tigers are now 60 for 5. And now it's time for drinks. So here we are, the players have refreshed after getting drinks, and now we are all set in readiness for the second half of this contest. The Roaring Tigers have recovered rather nicely from that precarious position they found themselves in. They're now at 60 for 5 with two set batsmen out there, with Snehal on 28 and Kedar on 17. So they will now look to keep on that scoring rate and, give this innings even more of a push than they currently find themselves in. Snehal has been pacing his innings rather nicely so far, and Kedar with those two boundaries in the previous over joining the party. It's Nirmit who will continue to bowl. It's it straight back to the bowler. Here is Nirmit bowling to Snehal. That's a full toss. He's taken full toll of that. Oh, he's dropped it. That is an absolutely massive blunder. That should have been a rather comfortable catch, but that has been put down. Could this be the huge turning point in the match? And could this be that stroke of fortune that Snehal required? That was a full toss. Did not get the timing that he was looking for. The fielder, for all intents and purposes, thought that he had it, but dropped it at the last minute. Here is Nirmit. Kedar. So he picks that one nicely. It's a good throw. But the batsmen make their grounds rather comfortably for a single. Snehal will be mindful of the drop catch or the drop chance that he gave a couple of deliveries ago. Just the previous delivery, I mean. Probably mean that he will probably be a little more measured and a little more even-tempered in his approach. Oh, he's played that one nicely. He's played that one well, but there is protection out there. So it'll be just a single. The score 63 for 5. 4 balls into the 11th over. That's a lovely shot from Kedar. Cheeky. And that is 4. So Kedar turning on the heat there. Premeditated shot this. And gets just the right amount of bat. And that sails over the keeper's head and goes all the way to the boundary for 4. So the runs coming quickly now for the Roaring Tigers. And they will be mighty impressed with the positions they find themselves in after having probably the worst possible start with the bat. Oh, that was very, very close to the inside edge. So that is the end of the 11th over. The Roaring Tigers are 67 for 5. And this is another bowling change into it, as Raj this time has been introduced into the bowling attack. And he's introduced at a time where The Roaring Tigers batsmen have slowly and steadily taken the control of proceedings with the bat, with a good impressive partnership out there, and they will be looking to add more runs to the total and put out an even better platform for the rest of their batsmen who are waiting, hoping that their number does not come into bat into the middle. So here is Raj bowling to Snehal. Snehal backs out there, so Raj will have to go through his routine again. Here is Raj bowling to Snehal. Picks good toll of that, and that's beaten the fielder for 4. So boundaries coming thick and fast now for the Roaring Tigers. And that is just the perfect platform that they were looking for. The score now moves on to the 70s. And that is given no ball as well. So that is a free hit to boot. Yeah, that was well over the waist height. And a lazy bit of fielding there should have saved that. But instead that has gone to the boundary for 4. So 5 runs added to the total. The free hit has been played in the gap, but there is protection out there. The sweeper cover picks it up. Will be a single. So 6 runs coming off that first ball. Just the platform that the Roaring Tigers were looking for to build up and probably get more runs than they can in this over. Here is Raj bowling to Kedar. Oh, that's nice. Played it very fine indeed. So the broom has come out and that's another boundary. So this is good batting from both batsmen. Kedar in particular, look at this. Plays that paddle to perfection. And the fielder was a little too square. So that has gone to the boundary for 4. So 2 boundaries, 10 runs coming off this 2 balls so far. And now Raj has been put under pressure. Here is Raj to Kedar. This time plays it off the back foot. There is protection out there, so it will only be a single. But this has been a very, very good start. Very, very good over so far. 11 runs coming off the first 3 deliveries. And they will be looking to add more runs to this over. And, just build another good platform again as they seek to build and put out a competitive total. Here is Raj bowling to Snehal. Snehal goes down the ground and that is 4. Another boundary in this over. So Raj is well and truly under the pump. Picks it nicely in the slot. Gets just the right amount of timing and connection. And no fielder out there at long on. So that's 4 more. So now Snehal on 39 of 34. And Kedar on the other hand on 27 of 22. 14 runs. 15 runs of this over. Big over indeed. Probably the turning point. These last 2 overs with Kedar being dropped in the previous over. Sorry, Snehal being dropped in the previous over. And now they are taking full toll of this. This time daps it to that fielder at a little bit of a misfield, but the batsmen wisely think against going for a single. A cardinal rule in cricket here. Never ever run off a misfield. Lonely invite trouble upon you and your team, and especially given that there's already been 1 run out, they do not want to see another. Here is Raj bowling to Snehal. 15 runs already in this over. Oh, swings and misses. 2 dot balls in a row, but still it is in a very good over for the Roaring Tigers. It's 12 overs gone. They are 82 for 5. Ankit is the new bowler who's introduced into the attack. So after soaking in the heavy hits up front of the JBCN Stars, the Roaring Tigers in the last 3 to 4 overs are landing a couple of haymakers of their own. And they now will believe that they are well and truly back into this contest, courtesy this partnership between Kedar and Snehal. Here is Kedar facing Ankit. Plays it down the ground and will get a single eventually. So Snehal on strike will be facing Ankit for the first time. Here's Ankit bowling to Snehal. Snehal, is it straight to the fielder, so no run there. It's a dot ball. Here's Snehal facing Ankit. Plays it nicely. A little bit of a hezzy by the fielder, but they will not take a single. So both the batsmen, Snehal and Kedar, have understood the magnanimity and the situation that they found themselves in, and they went about rebuilding the innings rather nicely. And the fact that they've still stayed in is testament to the way that both the batsmen have approached their innings right from the very first balls respectively. They've put away the bad deliveries, they've played the good balls on merit, and now they're reaping the benefits of it and having what was a prolonged period out there in the middle. Both of them are well set, and both of them will be looking to continue to get those runs quickly as they give their side a fighting chance. Meanwhile, here is Kedar, who was going for the sweep. It's an appeal, but the umpire says bump ball. So after a couple of big overs for the Roaring Tigers, this is a nice, quiet over as far as the JBCN Stars are concerned. Just 2 singles of 5 deliveries. They want to not concede a boundary of that final ball, I beg your pardon. Here's Ankit. And a swing and miss. So that is the end of the 13th over. And the Roaring Tigers are 84 for 5. Dushyant introduced into the attack. So now it comes down to how do they plan the rest of the 7 overs, the Roaring Tigers. They currently find themselves on 84 for 5. They're going at a run rate of 6.46, which is just around that 6.5 run mark. 10 runs from here, 10 runs and over from here will definitely get them over 150. And that is exactly what they will be looking for. So good shot, but does not find the gap. So they start off this over with a single. So as I was saying, 7 overs to go. 10 runs per over from here will take them to 150 plus. And that is probably the range that they will be looking forward to reach. And that will be a great achievement given the situation that they found themselves in, having lost 5 wickets in no time. But once again, the real question right here is, will they be able to get to that 150 run mark? And the onus to get them to that target rests on the shoulders of both these batsmen who are out there in the middle. Kedar, who's on strike, and Snehal, who's on the non-strike. They batted well so far, but they know that the job's not done yet and they will have to continue. Tried to play that late cut, but decides against it. Does Kedar. Oh, that's a good shot, and that's taken. And just when I was talking about how the onus of taking this team to a good total rests on the shoulders, talk about the commentator's curse, and Kedar has to depart. Went for the reverse lap shot at the last moment. And there was the fielder there exactly for that shot. So good captaincy all around. And the fielder takes it at the second attempt. So that is the fall of the 6th wicket. The Roaring Tigers now 85 for 6. Kedar, the batsman, dismissed. So Sundaresh is the new batsman who's on strike. Dushyant gets his wicket, his first wicket of the game. And now once again, the Roaring Tigers will have to begin from square one. It was a nice little platform, a nice little period of dominance there in the middle, where the runs were beginning to come in, the boundaries were beginning to flow. But now that wicket has once again pegged them back. Here is Dushyant bowling to Sundaresh. So gets off the mark straight away, but will it be 1 or 2? So they get 2 runs rather comfortably, so that is good running between the wickets. And very good running actually, given the fact that Snehal already walked in right at the start in the first over itself, having come in at number 3. So here is Dushyant to Sundaresh. That's a lovely shot. 4 runs. So the runs are still coming in, and that is exactly what they want. That's a nice shot there. Again, all he had to do was beat the fielder at shot fine, and that is exactly what he does. Gets that bat, plays it well, times it to perfection. He gets 4 for it. So Sundaresh is up and running with 6 runs of his 2 deliveries that he's faced. Dushyant to continue. Hits that down the ground. So 8 runs coming off it, but a wicket more importantly as well. So 14 overs done. The Roaring Tigers now 92 for 6. The final 6 overs to go. 92 for 6, the Roaring Tigers. Sundaresh is the batsman on strike. Ankit is the bowler back into the attack. Plays it late. And they will not take any run. Here's Ankit to continue. That's been given as a wide. And once again, a little bit of a misunderstanding there between the two on whether there was a single on there or no. Eventually, they did not come across the singles, but a little bit of miscommunication there on display. Sundaresh to continue. Ankit to bowl. Oh, that's a good shot. That's a very good shot. And it's a misfield, and that's gone for 4. Again, that should have been saved at the edge of the boundary. But given that it was such a good shot, on the end of it all, you probably think that 4 runs was the most deserved outcome. So Sundaresh has started with a renewed sense of acceleration here. He is on 11 of 5. And here is Ankit to continue. Sundaresh on strike. Oh, now full appeal for LBW, but the umpire says it is high. Probably go on to miss the stumps, and rightly so. Sundaresh is a tall man at the end of the day, and it is hit him rather high as well. So all said and done, good decision by the umpire. Ankit to continue. Sundaresh on strike. Nicely played. Beats that fielder. Will it beat the gap? Will it find it? Yes, it does. And that boundary brings the 100 up for the Roaring Tigers. It's a good shot. There, picks his spot nicely, takes the aerial route, hits it just behind that fielder, and in that pocket where it was a little too late for the fielder to reach. So 101 for 6 now, the Roaring Tigers. So this is a huge, a complete 360-degree turnaround in the fortunes of the batting side. When you see them lose 5 wickets within the first 3 overs, you probably thought that, but this is a good fight back here. Oh, he's hit that straight, he's hit that high, he's hit that handsome. That is 6. Out she goes into the night sky. Brilliant shot this from Sundaresh, and he is stealing a march with his power hitting. Brilliant shot. Straight as an arrow. Into the night sky she goes like a comet for 6. And once again, another big over this. 15 runs coming off it. Oh, that's another huge hit. And that is 6-2. So that is a monster over. Brilliant, brilliant over this. Again, similar ball, similar result. 21 runs of this over. Back-to-back 6s and 15 overs gone now. 113 for 6. What a turnaround this innings has seen. What a turnaround. They were 4 for 4, mind you. 4 for 4 in the second over. And now they are turning it on. It's 113 for 6 and 5 more overs still to play. Sundaresh is on an absolute tear. 27 of just 9 deliveries and at a strike rate of 300. And that innings, what that innings has done is that has alleviated the pressures considerably off Snehal. And now they can well and truly believe that they can even get to 160. "21 runs of that over. Oh, this time it's Snehal. And that is gone for 6 as well. 3 balls, 3 sixes. What are we witnessing here? This is a fight back for the ages from the Roaring Tigers, and they are roaring loud and proud with the bat. Brilliant batting this now. Picks his spot beautifully. And the moment it hit the bat, you knew that it was going only one way, and that was for 6. So this is a great, great start here now. 119 for 6. Dushyant welcomed into the attack once again with a 6. And after the 6, sensible shot. They'll not get a single though. But that is a brilliant comeback now. A brilliant fight back in this second half. They were 61 for 5 in 10 overs. Who's played that well? Will they get 2? That fielder from long on galloping in. A little bit of a stumble. They do get 2. Very well run this. So they've got 61 runs in the next 5.5 overs. Snehal is on 49. He has batted exceedingly well. Can he get to his 50? That's no run there. $121 for 6, the Roaring Tigers. Oh, he's picked that, and that's gone for... has it? And yes, it is gone for 4. And that will bring up the 50 for Snehal in style. Take a bow, Snehal. That is a brilliant innings under pressure. He saw wickets falling all around him, but he buckled up. And as you can see, the chants out there. Brilliant batting this from Snehal. He has well and truly earned this 50. Oh, swings and misses. No run there. So once again, 12 runs coming off this over. And that is the end of the 16th over. The Roaring Tigers are 125 for 6. Mehul is the bowler who's back into the attack. Conceded 5 runs and took a wicket in his... conceded 5 runs, I beg your pardon. No wickets whatsoever. No wickets yet. And how desperately will the Jbcn Stars think that they will need a wicket here, especially any one of the 2 batsmen at this point, because Sundaresh is the batsman on strike and he will be looking to continue from where he left off. Oh, he's picked that nicely. And that's gone for 4. So now sloppy fielding. So the fielders at Jbcn Stars are also feeling the heat of this onslaught. Once again, that should have been gathered. But sloppy fielding here means that they have given away 4 runs. Sundaresh now moves on to 31 of 10. Surely now the Roaring Tigers will fancy their chances of getting 160 or even 170 for that matter. Here are the Roaring Tigers. Played it straight down the ground. There is no there is the fielder there, and the long on fielder will gather that one. Will get only a single. So 5 runs off the first 2 balls. This innings has now taken a nice pace and they are accelerating rather nicely at this point. $130 for 6. 2 balls into the 17th over. Mehul to bowl to Snehal. Oh, that is high. And that has gone all the way for 6. So now Snehal decides that he will be taking the aggressive route as well. In the slot, gives him the charge right off the middle of the blade. And like I say so many times, there is no sweeter sound for the batsman to hear than the ball hitting right off the middle of his bat. Feels like a sense of nirvana for the batsman when it hits the middle of the bat. And you can always feel that that was exactly what Snehal felt. 136 for 6. Mehul to Snehal. It's a huge appeal for LBW, and that is given. That's out. So a wonderful innings from Snehal comes to an end. Squared him up, hits him in front of the pads, and he walks to a standing ovation from his teammates because he deserves that. That has been an excellent innings under pressure. And he has given his team a rather good platform. Brilliant batting this from Snehal. Take a bow, sir. Take a bow. You have been phenomenal. You have been incredible with the bat. And that is some lovely hitting, power hitting, ground strokes, the rotation of strike, you name it. And he was up in aces on every aspect of his batting innings. And he rightly takes the plaudits as he sits in the dugout. The Roaring Tigers now 136 for 7. Kiran is the new batsman who will be on strike. Here is Mehul. Oh, that's a good delivery. Good delivery. So the confidence after the wicket clearly visible there in Mehul, who up until that wicket had been taken for runs there. He was taken for a 4 and a 6. But now he's come back strongly here with a wicket and a dot ball following in quick succession. It's in the air. Oh, that was a great effort. Great effort indeed. Kudos to that fielder at short cover. Puts out a dive, but that does not stick. They do scamper across for a single. And 17 overs done and dusted. The Roaring Tigers now 137 for 7. So the final 3 overs of the first innings to go. The Roaring Tigers are 137 for 7, and with Sundaresh still out there in the middle, they will surely fancy their chances of getting to 160, 165. But for now, it is Kiran who is on strike to Nirmit. Plays it well and does his part of getting off strike. Brings Sundaresh now to the striker's end. And I think the sensible thing for the Roaring Tigers here will be that Sundaresh faces as many balls out of the 17 remaining legal deliveries as possible. Because their hopes of getting to that score of 160 to 170 squarely rests on the shoulders of Sundaresh. And here is Nirmit bowling to him now. Oh, that is gone! That's a brilliant catch by the keeper. Great grab that. Gets the outside edge, and the keeper stretches his arm forth, and the ball sticks into his gloves. So Sundaresh departs. So 2 set batsmen departing in quick succession. And now the Roaring Tigers are 138 for 8. So just when it felt like the game was slipping away from the Jbcn Stars, they get the wickets of the 2 set batsmen in quick succession. And now they feel that they can end this batting innings quickly from here on. Great catch by the keeper though. Absolute gem of a catch. We've seen a couple of great catches being taken here. An excellent grab by the fielder at slip early on in the innings, and now this one. So Pranav is the new batsman on strike. Still 16 deliveries there to play. Pranav facing Nirmit. Oh, yokes him, but nowhere close to the stumps, but still a dot ball. So with 3 balls into the 18th over, and all that has been given away by the bowler is just a single. So it has been a pretty good over so far. Can he continue the good work? Plays the expansive drive. They're going for the single and they do get it. So good running between the wickets there. 139 for 8. That's a good shot there from Kiran. Will only get a single. So that score for the Roaring Tigers now moves to 140. And all said and done, you must say that this is a very, very competitive score, irrespective. Slow full toss in the air, but no fielder out there. We'll get another single. So good over for the Jbcn Stars. That's 18 overs done and dusted. The score now for the Roaring Tigers are 141 for 8. So 12 legal deliveries to go. How many runs can the Roaring Tigers get from here? Here is Mehul. Cuts nicely. There is a fielder there and that has been saved well. That has been extremely well saved there by the fielder. Good bit of footwork. We get 2 runs. We'll get 2 runs there. That was good fielding there in the deep. Plays that down the ground. Can they get another couple of runs here? And the answer is yes. So that score now moves to 145 for 8 by the Roaring Tigers. Mehul to continue with Pranav keeping strike. Swings. Can they get 2 more now? And yes, they do rather comfortably at the end. So 6 runs of the first 3 balls. Minimal risks. And they are now at 147 for 8. This is good cricket here from Pranav. And this is good cricket overall by the Roaring Tigers. Yes, they do need the boundaries, but yes, 2 runs from here as well in every ball. 9 more balls, that's 18 more runs. That takes them to 165. So getting runs without risks is also a very integral part of the game. And that is exactly what Pranav is doing right now. Oh, swings and misses. They do scamper for the bye. So again, good presence of mind there by Kiran, the non-striker, to scamper across for a bye. Not wasting any deliveries, not making sure that there are no dot balls or as few dot balls as possible in these last 8 deliveries. Here is Mehul now bowling to Kiran. And he plays it down the ground for a single. So 8 runs coming off this over with minimal risk. $149 for 8 here. Last ball of the 19th over. Mehul to bowl to Pranav. He's trying to take the aerial route. Will they get 2? A little bit of a slip. but they will settle for only a single, and the 150 comes up for the Roaring Tigers. Who would have thought that at 4 for 4 they would be reaching this score, but they have. And this is a massive, massive confidence booster, not only to the batsmen out there in the middle, but for the entire team as a whole, because they will now enter the field with a realistic chance of hoping that they will be able to defend this target. Their bowlers have something to bowl at, and at the end of the day, that is all the spark that a side requires, especially when you've had the worst possible start with the bat. But still, there are 6 more legal deliveries to play. How many runs can the Roaring Tigers still get? Can they get to that 160 mark? Can they get even more? Your guess is as good as mine, and it is Ronesh who will end things to bowl the final over. Pranav is the batsman on strike. This will be a very, very interesting contest. Ronesh has been phenomenal with his bowling. 16 runs of his 3 overs and taken 2 wickets in the process as well. Pranav is the batsman who will be looking to end things with a flourish for his side with the bat. Here comes Ronesh, the first ball of the final over. Pranav on strike. Slogs it, but there is protection out there in the deep. Will settle for a single. Kiran, the batsman, now on strike. What will Kiran do here? Will he go for the big shot? Or will he take a single and give Pranay the strike? Meanwhile, Ronesh coming in to bowl. Swings and misses. That's a dot ball. That's equivalent to goal dust at this point. Ronesh to bowl his 3rd ball of the final over. Here is Kiran. This time plays it down the ground. They are scampering across for 2. Sent back. Will only be a single. So 3 more balls to go. The score now 152 for 8. Here is Ronesh to Pranay. Good shot from Pranav down the ground. Will only get a single though. Oh, that's a misfield. They will come back for 2. Yes, they do. So that's good batting from Pranav and good awareness from both the batsmen to take the overthrow. So 2 runs more. That score now is 154. Can Pranav finish this innings with a big flourish? 2 balls to go. Can he get a boundary on either one of those? Can he get a boundary on both of those? Remains to be seen. Here's Pranav taking guard. Ronesh, the bowler, steaming in. Oh, that's huge. That's in the air. It's going, and that's gone for 4. So he gets a boundary in the penultimate ball of the final over. So that score now moves on to 158 for 8. Picks the slog sweep. Does not get the distance, but that was high and long enough to make sure that the fielder was still not able to find his footing. Eventually misses the catching chance, and to make matters worse, lets it go for a boundary as well. So last ball. Here is Ronesh to Pranav. Swings hard. And they get 2 runs. They're going for a 3rd. But that is the end. So the Roaring Tigers finish their innings with an incredible fight back. They end it with 160 for 9. What a fight back. What a phenomenal fight back this has been with the bat for the Roaring Tigers. They were 4 for 4 after 2 in the first 2 overs. They lost half their side within the first 6 overs in the power play. But they eventually finish with an unbelievable total of 160 for 9. with great contributions with the bat from Snehal and Sundaresh, their chief contributors. And now the JBCN Stars have a run chase in their hands. The target for them will be the target will be 160 for the Roaring Tigers. The Roaring Tigers have made 159 in their first innings. The JBCN Stars will be chasing 160 in the run chase. We will have the run chase soon after a short break. Hello everyone and welcome back to this run chase. We are underway with the first ball and the openers Viral and Nirmit, with Prasad to kickstart proceedings with the ball. The target for the Jbcn Stars is 160. Viral, the batsman, on strike, Nirmit on the non-striker's end. Swings and misses in just the second delivery. Making his intentions clear there is Viral. Looking to impose his will on the bowler. And he is not backing down. If the early exchanges are any indication of what is to come. Prasad to continue. The Roaring Tigers have a slip in as well. So this is a pretty good start with the ball for Prasad. 3 dot balls in a row. Viral taking guard. Gives him the charge. Beats that fielder at fine leg. Will it have enough legs to go to the boundary? Yes, it does. And that is the run chase underway for the Jbcn Stars with that boundary. So Viral, as we seen clearly a couple of balls ago, making his intentions rather clear from the outset that he will give the bowlers the charge. And that is exactly what he's done in this particular delivery. Came on the front foot, put on his dancing shoes and swiveled across the line and pulled it with just enough connection and just enough timing to beat that fielder at short fine for 4. So good start this. A boundary in the first over. That will settle the nerves a little for Viral, who played 3 dot balls back to back up until that point. Takes the aerial route this time. But this time he's gone. Right after the boundary. The bowler has the last laugh eventually. And that is the first wicket down for the Jbcn Stars. Viral did not get to the pitch of the ball there in that particular instance. Tried to take the aerial route. Tried to continue that aggressive approach. But this time was not able to reach to the pitch of the ball. Here we see did not reach a late movement as well. Did not reach the pitch of the ball. And an easy catch to that fielder at mid-off. And the Roaring Tigers strike first blood. And that is 4 for the loss of 1 wicket. Viral has to depart. First wicket down. Ankit is the new batsman walking in at number 3 for the Jbcn Stars. And obviously now the wicket in this over will fill Prasad with confidence for the final delivery of this over. That's been given as a wide. We'll have to bowl that one again. So Prasad bowling to Ankit. Nice firm forward front foot defense. And that is the end of the first over. The Stars chasing 160 are 5 for 1. Mayur is the opening partner with the ball. alongside Prasad, and he will be bowling the second over. Nirmit to take strike for the very first time. Here is Nirmit to face Mayur. Oh, he starts off with a wide, and that was well wide indeed. Classic case of getting his bearings wrong a bit. We'll have to bowl that one again. Here is Nirmit to Mayur. And that is once again a wide. He will have to bowl that one again. So he's not found his rhythm just yet. Has Mayur. Two wides in a row. Nirmit facing Mayur. This time bowls it on the body. Nirmit plays it off his hips as he gets off the mark with a sing. Oh, they go for 2 runs. So that is good running. Couple of runs comfortably taken there. Good running between the wickets by Nirmit and his partner. Here he is once again. And this time it's a single. So that brings Mayur on strike. I'm sorry, that brings Ankit on strike. So it's a good start and a much better 2 balls after fluffing with his lines and lengths early on with those 2 big wides outside the offside. 2 singles, much better lines and lengths in those occasions for Mayur. Meanwhile, Ankit to face Mayur for the first time. Plays it nicely. Oh, that's a little bit of hezzy, but then eventually they do scamper across for a single. Well fielded by the fielder there. Those little bits of miscommunication more often than not tend to have a confusing effect on the second fielder, but the fielder was well aware in the situation that he found himself in, and eventually all the batsman could do was settle for a single. Here is Mayur to Nirmit. Plays it forward, front for defense, a little bit of a yes and no, but they make the single once again. So again, eventually making it through. A bit of a risky single there, but they still do live to fight. Can Mayur close this over in the same way that he is bowled the rest of the 4 deliveries? He's bowled 4 deliveries, he's given away 4 singles apart from those 2 wides. So it's been a decent start. Plays it nicely off his pads. And they do get a single once again. So 7 runs off this over. 1 more ball to go. Here we go. Slashes hard, slashes fiercely, but will only get a single. So that is the end of the over. 2 overs done. The Jbcn Stars are 14 for 1. And it is Prasad who will continue from the other side. Flicks it off nicely, but there is a fielder there. So dot ball. Here is Prasad. Good shot that. Picks the bones out of that, and that is gone flying to the ropes for a boundary. 4 runs added there. Picks his spot well in advance, nicely into position. Bottom hand coming into play there, and that is 4 runs the moment he beat that fielder there. So this is a good platform. This is a good start to the run chase for the Jbcn Stars. Here is Prasad. Flicks it nicely, beats that fielder once again, and that goes to the boundary. So back-to-back 4s for Nirmit. Once again, playing it nicely, flicks it nicely, using those wrists this time. And all he had to do was beat that fielder at short fine, and he beats it with ease. So back-to-back boundaries, and that is put pressure on the bowler. That's been given as a wide. We'll have to bowl that one again. So the pressure telling on Prasad in this particular over. Nicely played there by Nirmit. Off his pads for a single. So 10 runs coming off it. 4 balls done. 2 more balls to go. Here is Prasad bowling to Ankit this time. Uses his back foot to perfection, and that is well fielded out there in the deep. Good footwork, saved a certain boundary. Will get 2. So that is a good platform here. This is a good over, just the over that the Jbcn Stars required in the run chase. An over of 10 or 12 runs here and there will certainly make a huge difference in the required run rate. Because given that they've started the run chase with a required run rate of 8, they currently find themselves over that at this point. Good front foot defense. So that is the end of the that is the end of the third over. The Jbcn Stars 26 for 1. So 3 overs gone. The Jbcn Stars have had a decent start here, chasing 160. They are now 26 for the loss of a wicket. That's been given as a wide, and that hesitation from the fielder means that they will take an extra run as well. So that's 2 runs into the tally. Mayur straying down the leg side a bit. That's 2 more runs added to the total. Here's Mayur to Ankit, and once again that's a wide. We'll have to bowl that one again. So just like his previous over, where he started things off with 2 wides on the offside, this time he started with 2 wides on the leg side. Oh, he's rocked back. Great shot that. 4 runs. That's a brilliant shot from Ankit. He rocked back on his back foot, waited for the ball to come onto the bat, and he pulls that in style for a boundary. So the Jbcn Stars are well and truly ahead in this run chase as of now. 33 for 1 they are. 1 ball into the 4th over. A very, very, very comfortable start this. A very, very positive start as well, with both the batsmen picking their spots rather nicely at this point in time of the run chase. Here is Mayur bowling to Ankit. Plays it nicely for a single. Good rotation of strike after the boundary as well. And that's a good shot. Picks the gap, but there is a protection there. So we'll settle for a single again. So 9 runs coming off the first 3 balls. Still 3 more balls to go. So the advantage currently is with the Jbcn Stars. Oh, that's a lovely shot. That is gone. That is gone out of the park. What a strike that is from Ankit. Absolutely smoked the living daylights out of that ball. In the slot, comes onto the front foot and picks the bones out of that. And that's once when he hit that, that stayed hit. And that stopped only after going out of the park. So that is a brilliant over now. "15 runs of this over. Still 2 more balls to come. The Jbcn Stars are well and truly ahead of the curve, ahead of the required run rate, and ahead in this match as we speak. And now that we have the ball back, cricketing action will resume. Mayur gone for plenty in this over. Plays it down the ground for a single. Oh, that's a misfield! But there is protection out there at long on. So the Roaring Tigers fortunate that this misfield did not cost them more than just a single. 16 runs of this over, 5 balls gone, 1 more ball to go. Can they make the most out of this over? Here it is, Mayur to Nirmit. Oh, a little bit of bat saved him there. They will eventually scamper across for a single. So that is the end of a very, very productive 4th over for the Jbcn Stars. They are currently on 43 for 1 after 4 overs. And the Roaring Tigers make a bowling change. It is Kiran who's introduced into the bowling attack. Kiran is the new bowler in. And this is a strong platform with both the batsmen well set on 16 respectively. Nirmit on 16 of 10. Ankit on 16 of 9. Here is Kiran bowling to Nirmit. They scamper across for a quick single down that leg side. And that is given as runs off the bat. And that is a leg bye belatedly given by the umpire. Belatedly signaled by the umpire as a leg bye. So Kiran to bowl to Ankit. Ooh, tries to go for the elegant drive, but this time was beaten all ends up by Kiran. Good bowling this from Kiran, albeit just 2 deliveries in. Here is Kiran bowling to Ankit. Edged, and that is a brilliant take. An absolutely magnificent catch there by the keeper. And it would take something really special to dismiss Ankit. And that moment of magic has been provided by the keeper. And that is the second wicket to fall for the Jbcn Stars. Let's have a look at that. Induces a genuine edge here, does Kiran. Just a poke. And look at that. Puts his hand out. The ball sticks to his gloves. And that is a catch brilliantly taken. So that is the second wicket to fall for the Jbcn Stars. They are now 44 for 2. Lovely bit of magic there in the field by the wicketkeeper. And that is what you call a fielder's wicket, where the entire credit of the wicket has to go to the fielder in lieu of the magnificent effort that he pulled out. And that was one such magnificent effort by the wicketkeeper there. Brilliant reflexes to take that catch. And the reaction time also absolutely impeccable. And just when it seemed like the Jbcn Stars were running away with the game, the Roaring Tigers pull a wicket back and just put a little bit of pressure on the batting side. Here is Kiran, and it is Meghal who is the new batsman who's walked out to the middle after the fall of the second wicket. Kiran has bowled a very good first 3 deliveries so far, not given away a single run off the bat. And he will be looking to continue in the same vein after getting a wicket. So here is Meghal, bowls well, but a quick tap and run to get off the mark. Good running between the wickets, not allowing the score to settle, and keeping the scoreboard ticking with the rotation of strike is probably something that these both batsmen will do at least for the next 2.5 overs. Just to make sure that the scoreboard pressure does not come to bite them later on in the innings. So Nirmit to face Kiran. Taps and runs down the ground for a single. Well run once again. Good running between the wickets between the two. It's an impressive first over this from Kiran, giving away just 2 runs and taking a wicket as well. But he will have to close the over well, as equally important. Meghal facing Kiran here. And he will have to bowl that one again. Missed his run up there. So here is Kiran bowling to Meghal. Oh, he's hit that stylishly. And that has raced away to the boundary in double quick time. Some way to end the over in style. There, width on offer. No second invitation needed. And smack. That ball has raced away to the boundary in no time. The 50 comes up with that boundary for the Jbcn Stars after the 5th over. 50 for 2. Prasad to bowl his 3rd over on the trot. Was taken for a few in his 2nd over. We'll hope that he ends this power play with his side in the ascendancy and not the other way around. Here is Prasad to Nirmit. Picks it nicely. Was looking for a second, but will only have to settle for a single. Here is Prasad bowling to Meghal this time around. Meghal plays it off nicely from his pads for a single. So Nirmit is back on strike. Tries to thump that, but there is a fielder there, and that's a direct hit, but not out. So Nirmit on strike. Plays it well. Once again, a tap and run for a single. .54 for 2. The Jbcn Stars chasing 160. In the air, just short of the fielder. Oh, there's a run-out chance as well. Not sure what the batsman was thinking there, because there was absolutely no single on offer. So here is Prasad bowling to Nirmit once again. That's a good looking shot. Will it find the boundary? You bet it does. So the Jbcn Stars end the power play on a high. After the end of 6 overs, the Stars are 58 for 2. Nice pickup shot there. Good swing of the arms, and all that was needed was to beat that fielder on a fine leg, which he eventually does. So the power play is done and dusted. 6 overs gone. The Jbcn Stars are 58 for 2. They require more 102 runs in 14 overs at a required run rate of 7.29. They're well ahead of that given the current state that they are in. They're going at a run rate of 9.67, which is very, very comfortable at this point. They are looking well in touch of that target. Slowly and steadily whittling down that target. So Meghal to take strike against Kiran, who will bowl his second over. Kiran just taking that extra bit of time to make sure that that the field is set as per his specifications. And now the field restrictions are off. There is a deep extra cover. There is a deep third man, and there is a long on and a long off. Here is Kiran bowling to Meghal. So straight down the ground. There is protection at the deep there. Like I said, long off. So just a single. So another field change here. Nirmit waiting. Is this a little bit of mind games here by the fielding side? Here, as you can see, still taking their time to set the field. Making the batsman wait. And now we're all in readiness. Here is Kiran bowling to Nirmit. Oh, and that has worked! What a master stroke in gamesmanship this is by the fielding side. They made the batsman wait just long enough, and then the bowler bowls an absolute seed of a delivery, and 2 out of the 3 stumps are uprooted out of the ground. So the Jbcn Stars lose their 3rd wicket, and it's Nirmit who has to depart. Yeah, full straight, and that has beaten his defenses. Big gap between bat and pad, and the off stump and middle stump have gone for a walk. So the Jbcn Stars now 59 for 3. So here is Kiran now. He's into the wickets. He's taking 2 wickets, 2 key wickets. And Kaushal is the new batsman who is on strike. Here comes Kiran to the new man, Kaushal. Plays that well, but no run. So once again, this is a very, very good start to the over. Just a single and a wicket here. Here is Kiran bowling to Kaushal. That's in the air, but that's landing in no man's land. They will eventually settle for a single. Here's Kiran bowling to Meghal. Plays it off his pads. They're looking for a quick single and they get it. So good running between the wickets. Good impressive over this. Oh, that jack back in sharply. And that ends an excellent over from Kiran from a bowling perspective. Just 3 runs conceded off and a wicket as well to boot off the set batsman. So 7 overs done. The Jbcn Stars are 61 for 3. So another bowling change. Kedar is the new bowler who's brought into the attack. And it will be Meghal who is the batsman on strike. So a little bit of a field change. Here is Kedar bowling to Meghal. And Kedar stutters a bit in his run up. Here is Kedar. Slow ball, even though on the shorter side, so the batsman was not able to get completely under it. Will have to settle for a single. Here is Kedar. Oh, uneven bounce. That shot back sharply. That was some good bounce there. And for a spinner, which is a surprise. No run. Very interesting there. Something that you can look forward to. Here is Kedar bowling to Kaushal. Oh, plays that rather late. and will get a single for that. Here is Kedar bowling to Meghal. Plays it nicely, but again there's a fielder. So another good over to follow the previous one. That's 2 singles in the 4 balls that he's bowled. Here is Kedar to Meghal. Oh, bowls, hits it right down the ground. Only for a single. So 2 overs with no boundaries conceded for the Roaring Tigers. And that is obviously a good sign, especially when they're trying to defend a score. 2 good tight overs here. And that is adding to the pressure a bit. Especially with the new batsman not able to rotate the strike as frequently. Oh, that's a good ball to finish the over. And that is the end of the 8th over. 64 for 3, the Jbcn Stars. So new bowling change. Sanjay is introduced into the attack. Jbcn Stars at 64 for 3. Meghal is the batsman on strike. Oh, he could. That's misfielded by the keeper. They will get at least. They get 2. So that's 3 runs added to the total without a ball being added. So that is bonus runs indeed. The extras are probably the last thing that the Roaring Tigers would want at this stage. Such a delicate stage of the run chase, especially after they bowled a couple of tight overs in, squeezed the flow of runs. Extras will certainly not help their cause here. Nice forward defense and good single taken there. So without taking a risk, they have now accumulated 4 runs off the first ball by virtue of the first one being a wide, and they ran 2 runs as well. So Sanjay bowling to Kaushal. And he's gone! And that is the 4th wicket. So the pressure that was built in the last 2 overs has now paid off rather handsomely. And Kaushal, who was struggling for fluency a bit, in search of a big shot, gets nowhere near it and sees his off stump being dismantled there. So that is another wicket, and now the Roaring Tigers are well and truly in the contest. The 4th wicket falls. 68 for 4, and it's time for a drink, perhaps? Not yet. Oh, it is time for a drink. We will be back shortly after the drinks break. Or is it? A little bit of confusion there. No, it is not the drinks break as of yet. Still have some cricketing action to go before the drinks break. The new batsman walking out to the middle. Ronish is the new batsman who's walked out to the middle to face his first ball against Sanjay. Plays it nicely to get off the mark straight away. Will only be a single. Sanjay to continue against Meghal. Plays it nicely down the ground. Will get at least a single, and yes, they will settle for that single. So 6 runs in 4 balls. It's a good comeback after bowling that wide first up. The Stars are 70 for 4. They require 90 more to win of 68 deliveries. Oh, that is absolutely massive. That is slipped off his hands. And that is rightfully given a no ball. But that has slipped off his hands. Oh, that is a huge no ball. The batsman nowhere near the ball. Towering above him. And the towels coming out. Is there a bit of dew on the outfield? Early indications indicate to be so. Swings and misses in the free hit. So no run there. So not much damage accrued by the Roaring Tigers on the free hit. So Sanjay to finish his first over. Ronish on strike. Plays it in down the ground and will settle for a single. So that is the end of the 9th over. And the Jbcn Stars are 72 for 4. Kedar to continue. Ronish, the batsman, on strike. Bowling Rao, taken the batsman by surprise. There's a good ball first up by Kedar to Ronish. Cramping him for room, not able to free his arms there. So this is a good start from Kedar. Oh, once again beats him all ends up. So Ronish is not able to read Kedar off the arm, finding it difficult there. He does go get a single, but it is difficult times out there. Here is Kedar bowling to Meghal. The match very delicately poised at this particular situation. Good looking shot. Will only get 1 for it though. So Kedar bowling to Meghal. Ronish, I beg your pardon. And Ronish once again not able to read Kedar off the hand. So this is turning out to be a bit of a struggle for Ronish, who's once again failed to read the bowler. Could this be his undoing? And could this be the opening that the Roaring Tigers need to get back into the match? This time he's finally able to get bat on ball. And they do get a huge appeal. But Ronish makes it safely. 2 more runs added to the total. So once again, this is a good over from Kedar. Just a 4 runs conceded of it and no boundary again. Will he be able to close the over without conceding a boundary? Here is Kedar to Ronish. Plays it down the ground once again, and that'll be a single. So we are halfway down to our run chase. And it's 10 overs gone. The Jbcn Stars are 77 for 4. And now it'll be time for drinks. So we are back after the drinks break. The players are hydrated, the umpires are hydrated, and it's time to go on for the second half of this run chase with the match rather delicately poised at this stage, with the Jbcn Stars currently at 77 for 4, chasing 160. Ronish and Meghal, the batsman, on strike. Sanjay with the ball to bowl his second over. He went for 8, and that's played late, and to that close-in fielder for a quick single. 82 needed of 59 deliveries here. Meghal is the batsman on strike as Sanjay continues with the ball. Here is Sanjay bowling to Meghal. Oh, that was hit hard. That was hit ferociously hard by Meghal. Sanjay did try to get that catch off, but it was very difficult given how hard and ferociously it was struck for Meghal. Very, very tough chance at the end of the day. So Ronish gets on strike. Sanjay to continue. This one's hit right over the head, and that's gone to the boundary for 4. Beats those fielders with ease, with surgeon-like precision there. Threads the needle between the two fielders. And that is a much-needed boundary for the Jbcn Stars. It was looking like the pressure was getting to them. They weren't being able to get the boundaries in the past couple of overs, but they've got one now, and this could potentially open the floodgates for more. Here is Sanjay. Hits it straight down the ground to the fielder at long off for a single. Meghal, the batsman, on strike. Sanjay to continue. Oh, he's played that stylishly. And that's gone for another boundary. So that's another boundary in this over. And now once again, a little bit of pressure being eased off. 11 runs coming off this over. It's a pretty big over, given the circumstances. And that was nicely played by Meghal. Getting down on one knee, piercing that gap, and finding the fence with effortless ease. $88 for 4 now. The Jbcn Stars chasing 160. 72 required. Last ball of the over. Here is Sanjay. Oh, that was close, but that is given as a no ball. So he will have to bowl that one again, and that will be a free hit. So 2 more runs added to the total. The score moves on to 90. And that is a free hit there. A no ball signal by the umpire. Here is the free hit. Oh, will be a dot ball. So it eventually ends with 11 overs gone. The Jbcn Stars 89 for 4. Kedar will continue to bowl from the other end. He's bowled 2 exceedingly brilliant overs and kept the scoring down to a minimum. If the Roaring Tigers need to have any chance of wickets, Kedar will have to continue bowling tightly from one end and probably get a wicket or 2. Because with the way the things are currently going, it feels like the Jbcn Stars just have their noses in front in this current scenario. Here is Kedar bowling to Meghal. Tries to take the aerial route but hits it down the ground to the fielder at long on for a single. The score now 90 for 4. Takes the aerial route, bounces just in front of the fielder. Did not get anywhere near the ball there, did Ronish. There, once again, swings and misses, no connection whatsoever. No connection whatsoever with that ball. So Ronish taking a few undue risks here in the hope that one of them will pay off. Oh, the sudden bounce. That one kept shot up and surprised the batsman no end. So 3 straight dot balls after a single of that first ball. So once again, Kedar is holding his end of the bargain by bowling another tight over. 3 consecutive tight overs for him. But he needs support from the other end so that the other bowler does not leak boundaries and go for big runs. There, he takes the aerial route just above the fielder. They eventually cut off the boundary. They come back. Only a single. So that brings Meghal on strike. So it's been another excellent over this. Only 2 runs conceded of the 5 deliveries. Needs to end it equally well. So here comes Kedar. Hits it down the ground. Protection out there at long off means he'll only get a single. So that is once again another impressive over for Kedar. That's 3 impressive overs on the bounce. 12 overs gone. 93 for 4. So 8 overs more, 48 deliveries, 67 runs required for the Jbcn Stars. And the required run rate is 8.38. They're just about keeping pace with the required run rate. So it's still anyone's game at this stage of the match. And it is Santosh who is the new bowler who's introduced into the attack. And it will be Meghal who will be taking strike. Here's Meghal facing Santosh. Santosh bowling to Meghal. A tentative push. Will get a single. That single will now bring Ronish on strike against Santosh. Will Ronish fancy the spinner and take the spinner on? Let's have a look at that. Oh, he tries to take the spinner on, but loses his wicket in the process. So now the Jbcn Stars have lost half their side. Great delivery from Santosh. Flighted that delivery. He knew that Ronish was all set to take him on. So he reduces the pace of that delivery, gives it a little more air, and Ronish rushes into his shot far too early and loses his stumps. So that's 94 for 5. Still the target 66 away for the Jbcn Stars. And it is Dushyant who walks out to the middle after the fall of Ronish's wicket. half their side down. Target still 66 away. This is anyone's game. It's building up to a great crescendo, this game. Here are the Jbcn stars. Dushyant tucks it nicely behind his legs for a single, and he will get off the mark. And here is Santosh bowling to Meghal. Lets that go, and rightfully so, because that's been given as a wide by the umpire. So here is Santosh. Picks his spot, but well fielded by that fielder at fine leg. Certainly has saved 3 runs for his side. Santosh to continue bowling to Dushyant this time around. Gives the ball a little bit of flight, but only as far as the long off fielder for a single. So again, another impressive over this. 5 runs given away from this over and a wicket to boot. They probably look for another wicket or make sure that they do not concede a boundary in this situation. Took that route, the aggressive route. Fielded just well enough to avoid the boundary. They will get only a single, I guess. Yes, it is a single. So 13 overs gone. The Jbcn Stars are 99 for 5. So a gamble here by the Roaring Tigers. They are giving Kedar the responsibility to bowl himself out here. And he's definitely been the pick of the bowlers here for the Roaring Tigers. While he's not taken any wickets, he's been extremely economical with the ball. There, a dot ball to start things. Or probably another way of looking at this is that even the batsmen, both of them know that this is Kedar's last over. They probably want to play him out before unleashing on the remaining faster bowlers, which obviously gives them much more of an advantage going forward in those final 4 of the innings. There, once again, trying to flick that off the ground. They will only get 1. Kedar to continue. Kedar bowling to Dushyant. Once again an edge, and he thinks that it is a single, but absolutely no. Absolutely no, says his non-strike partner. Here comes Kedar. Bowling to Dushyant. Plays it to the bowler a little away from him, which gives them enough time to get a single. And the 100 comes up with that single. They know that the job's not done. It's 101 for 5. They still need 59 runs more to win in 6.5 overs. Here is Kedar. Close there. But that is once again another dot delivery. So this is once again excellent bowling. And you can't help but believe that you do feel a little unfortunate for Kedar that he wasn't able to get a wicket despite the excellent bowling that he's shown throughout the course of his 4-over spell. He's not given away a single boundary, just given away one extra throughout the course of his bowling effort. And that is dropped. Goodness gracious me. I thought for all intents and purposes that was gone. Because he held on to the catch, but he dropped it while taking the fall. So that is not exactly the fielding effort that the Jbcn strikers will... not the fielding effort that the fielding side, the Roaring Tigers, would have been looking for. But the Jbcn stars will absolutely take those drop chances. It means that they still have 5 wickets in hand, which means that these both batsmen can still take them all the way to the finish line. So here we go. A little bit of towel cleaning as the ball is becoming wet because the dew that is there on the pitch, around the field. Ooh, that was very, very close to the stumps. That could have gone anywhere. Great start to the over that. Here is Santosh bowling to Dushyant. A little bit of an issue with the stumps, with the umpire comes and eventually sorts things up. And now we will have a resumption in play after a small pause. Here is Santosh bowling to Dushyant. Here he comes. Actually, that cut shot once again. Will only get a single though. So 158 required by the Jbcn stars. The keeper indicating to just come a little bit finer to make sure any cheeky shots do not find that fine leg boundaries. 58 needed of 34. Plays it off the back foot straight to the fielder. No run given. Santosh bowling to Meghal. Plays it late off the back foot, but there's a misfield. Will only get a single though because there was backing up out there. Two more deliveries to go. Plays it late, but again there is protection out there, so no boundaries. They're not able to find the boundaries here, are the Jbcn Stars. And that is taking them behind the required run rate. The run rate has now shot up to 10.84, just above, just a shade below 11. So that is what a couple of quiet overs can do. Within a blink of an eye, raises your required run rate from 8 to 11. There it is. Again, he's going for that big shot, but not able to connect whatsoever. So we are into the final 5 overs of this run chase. And the JCBN Stars require 55 to win. They are 105 for 5. Last 5 overs of this contest. 55 runs needed for the Jbcn Stars. 5 wickets needed for the Roaring Tigers. Who will emerge victorious? Who will have the final bragging rights over the team? Will it be the Roaring Tigers? Will it be the Jbcn Stars? It's an interesting phase of play that is in front of us for the next 5 overs. And it is Vipin who's been entrusted to bowl the 16th over of this game, of this run chase. And he will be bowling to Meghal, who's currently batting on 28 of 27 balls. Here is Vipin to Meghal. He's taken the aerial route. And that's dropped again. So the fielding from both ends has been rather shabby when it comes to taking their catches. Yes, there have been a couple of instances of great catches from both sides, but the fielding overall has been rather lackadaisical and less is fair, where lifelines have been given by the abundance from both sides. Now it is the Roaring Tigers who are following suit of the Jbcn Stars. Once again, this is in the air, and this time it lands shortly, just in front of that fielder at deep extra cover. So that's another single. "26 balls more to go. 53 runs to win." So here is Vipin bowling to Meghal, trying to turn that into a full toss, but it does not get the connection he was hoping for. Will only have to eventually settle for a single. Three balls, 3 singles taken. Vipin bowling to Dushyant. That's down the ground once again. No single. Oh, there is a single being taken. So 4 singles. That will not hurt. Here is Vipin bowling to Meghal. This time hits it on the up and he finds that boundary there. So again, this is a much needed boundary in the context of the game. Plays this ball on the up, finds the gap with ease, and that has travelled to the boundary for 4. So now 47 runs required of 41 balls. The JBCN Stars still in it with a chance. Tries to go for another big shot, but this time we'll have to only settle for a single. So 9 runs coming off this over. 16 overs gone. The JBCN Stars are 114 for 5. Final 4 overs, 46 runs required with a required run rate of 11.5. This is make or break for the JBCN Stars. Can they manufacture a huge over to reduce the pressure on them? Or will it eventually be a case of too little too late for the batting side? Here is Santosh to continue. Meghal on strike. Good shot, good start to the over, and that is fielded well. What does the umpire have to say? And that is a couple of runs, not given as a boundary. So good fielding effort there. Oh, it's only a single. It's only a single, not even 2 runs taken, just a single. Here is Santosh. We'll have to bowl that one again, and that's been given as a wide. So 44 required of 23. Oh, he's hit that one. He has hit that one all the way for 6. That was a slot ball right in the hitting arc, right where Dushyant wanted it. And he dispatches it to the boundary for 6 runs. Much needed 6 in the context of the game. They will need a couple more of those. Here is Santosh bowling to Dushyant. That was a little slower through the air. They will take a single. So 9 runs taken of 3 deliveries. 37 required of 21. Santosh once again taking his time to set the field before he actually comes into bowl. Here he is. Here is Santosh bowling to Meghal. Once again tries to go for the big shot but does not get any sort of connection whatsoever. So he will have to settle for another single. And this is Dushyant. will be facing Santosh. And here is Santosh. Again, a single max to max, and that is exactly what they get. 5 balls into the over. What will Meghal do in this final ball? Will he go for a boundary and bring that margin down considerably, or will he keep strike for the next over, knowing that he will be able to cover that deficit? That's a good shot, and that is gone to the boundary for 4. Much needed boundary this. And that once again brings the contest right in the balance. Last 3 overs of the game to go. The Jbcn Stars require 31. It's 129 for 5. So Kiran is brought back into the bowling attack. He has been exceptional. 2 wickets taken for 9 runs. 31 required of the last 3 overs. Dushyant on 15. Meghal on 41. We are into the crunch time of what has been a seesaw contest between the two sides. But this could probably be the over that makes or breaks the contest decisively towards one team's favour. Here comes Kiran bowling to Dushyant. Swings and misses. Starts off with the dot delivery, does Kiran. Kiran again. That is buys, and that is gone for 4. That should have been gathered by the keeper. The look of dismay on the bowler's face says it all. That should have been taken by the keeper, but it was not to be. So that's 4 more runs added to the total, and that is the target now has come down from 31 to 27. 27 required of 16. Here is Kiran to continue bowling. Plays it late, plays it fine, but there is a fielder there at third man, only a single. 26 required of 15. Here is Kiran bowling to Meghal. Crucial situation here in this match. We're 3 balls into the 18th over. 26 required from 15. 5 wickets in hand for the JBCN Stars. Here comes Kiran. Oh, he's played that fine, but there is a fielder there at short fine. Just for this very shot. They do scamper across for a single. So the pressure still well and truly on, given as a leg by there by the umpire. 25 required of 14. Here is Kiran bowling to Dushyant. Oh, that's in the air. And that's gone to the boundary for 4. Very, very casual fielding there at the deep. Should have at least put in his hands there rather than trying to save that with his foot. But the JBCN Stars won't mind that one bit. They will take the boundary as and how they come. That target has now been whittled down to 21. 21 required of 13. It is getting interesting now, folks. We are there at crunch time. 21 needed. 13 balls to go. 13 legal deliveries to go. Kiran to bowl the final ball of his 3rd over. Here he comes. Oh, that is hit hard. It's in the air. Eventually goes to no man's land. They will take 2. That was in the air for a very, very long time indeed. Eventually lands safely. So 2 runs of that final ball. 18 overs gone. The JBCN Stars 141 for 5. The equation pretty simple. 19 runs required of 12 balls. The required run rate is 9.5. But that doesn't matter. The only equation in the minds is 19 runs, 12 balls. Last 2 overs of this contest, and such has been the competitive nature of this game that we still do not know who will emerge victorious. This has been a typical game of ebbs and flows right from the very first ball of this match, and we have come to that stage where it is either here or there. That's hit straight over the bowler's head. And that's 6. That's a flat batted strike. What a way to start the over. And that reduces the pressure significantly off the batting side and puts a hell lot of pressure on the bowling side. Straight up. Full in the slot. And that is gone flat batted over the bowler's head for 6. Huge boundary in the context of the game. The worst possible start for Jfsc here. But the perfect possible start for Meghal, who's put his team in the driving seat now. Here is Jfsc once again. That's over the bowler's head once again. But this time only manages to get a single. So 12 runs required of 10 deliveries. 2 hits away are the JBCN Stars. 2 hits away. What can Jfsc conjure here? What can Dushyant conjure here? That's in the air. Lands in front of the fielder. Once again, a single taken. So 11 needed of 9. Here is Vipin bowling to Meghal. Hits it down the ground, but straight to the fielder at long on. Just a single once again. So 10 runs required of 8. Still 2 hits away. The 150 comes up for the Jbcn Stars. Hits it in the air, but falls just short of the fielder. And that is another single taken. So 9 required of 7. So Vipin has pulled things back nicely after conceding a 6 of that first ball. It's anyone's game still. Anyone's game still. 9 required of 7. A big hit here could more or less seal the game in favor of the batting side. But if it is anything apart from a boundary or a wicket, that once again brings the Roaring Tigers back into the contest. So what can Vipin do here? And who will bowl the last over for the Roaring Tigers? Here is Vipin to bowl the last ball of the 19th over. Meghal is the batsman on strike. Hits it. Only a single. So here it, and with that it is also a well composed half century for Meghal. But he knows his job is not done, because the equation in the final ball of what has been a thrilling encounter so far is that the Jbcn Stars require 8 runs to win in 6 deliveries. And that is all that it is, folks. 2 hits away. Meghal will keep strike to face the first ball of the final over. But the big question is, who will bowl the final over? So a little bit of a conference here. This is it, folks. Either here or there. 8 runs, 6 balls. The well-set Meghal is the batsman on strike who's just reached his 50 in the previous delivery. It is everything to play for. And it is Kiran who will bowl the final over. The responsibility of closing out the match for his Roaring Tigers side here. Kiran, Meghal, the Roaring Tigers, the Jbcn Stars, 8 runs, 6 balls. What does this game have in store for us in the final over? And here he comes, first ball of the final over. Full toss, only a single. So 7 required of 5. That will bring Dushyant on strike. Seven of 5. Good start to the over, just a single. They will try to make sure that there is absolutely no scope of a boundary here. Here comes Kiran to Dushyant, who is in the air. And that is well saved. They do come back for 2. So it is 5 runs now required of 4. This match is on a knife edge. Tension so thick that you can cut it with a knife. The margins are so close. It's just a matter of 1 hit now for the Stars. As far as the Roaring Tigers are concerned, they will need to make sure that the next 2 deliveries are at least dot deliveries. Here, that's a dot ball. 1 dot ball in. Oh no! What have you done? Just when it felt like they had this under control, Just when you felt that that was a dot ball and a much needed one, they allow the Stars batsmen to scamper across for a single on an overthrow. This is not what the Roaring Tigers fielders would have wanted. It's such a critical juncture of the game. 4 runs needed of 3 now. It is anyone's game. And that brings Meghal on strike. Kiran bowling to Meghal. 4 runs required of 3. Anybody's game here. What can Kiran conjure up? What can Meghal do here? 1 hit away. He's hit that in the air. And that is saved. Are they going to come back for 2? And that is 2 runs taken. So 2 runs required of 2 now. What a contest this is turning out to be. What a contest this has turned out to be. Both teams have been fighting tooth and nail for this. And this is all it comes down to. 2 deliveries, 2 runs. Meghal on strike. He's on 53 of 41. Dushyant is on 27 of 21. And here is Kiran to bowl to Meghal. The Roaring Tigers need a dot ball now. They should have had one in that 3rd ball, but they let that opportunity slip. But now is the time for a dot ball if there was any. Meghal. They will definitely come back. And that is it. That is it. Match winner Meghal. He seals the deal for his side. Game, set and match for the Jbcn Stars. But spare a thought for the Roaring Tigers, who have fought tooth and nail in this contest. An absolute thriller of a contest comes to an end. And it is the Jbcn Stars who emerge victorious by 5 wickets. What a brilliant run chase it has been. And superb innings by that man on your screen, Meghal. He anchored that run chase to perfection. And he took his side home right where he wanted him to be. So that is it from the Fatima grounds at this match of the DATS Premier League. It is the Jbcn Stars who have won by 5 wickets against the Roaring Tigers. We will see you soon with another game. But till then, this is Delvin wishing you good night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you shortly.